Ignition. Hello everyone. People are joining one by one. So we have a breakout session today. Hi everyone. Okay, we are waiting for a few minutes. People are coming in. We'll have some. So I think we have a representative for Draxis for the ENVISION project from VTGO. I don't know for the moment.
Yes, Maria is there. Yes.
Claudio is here, and also Carlos Groba. So we have all our speaker for this breakout session. So welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure to welcome you on this breakout session, which is dedicated to a discussion and the introduction of the newly launched H2020 project that are related to Geo and Eurogeo. We will have 1.5 hours of this presentation and discussion. So that's also a way of sharing the experience and trying to see if there is some potential connection between eShape and these 5 projects. And in order to allow this discussion to run smoothly, we plan to have a presentation of all these 5 newly launched H2020 projects. But before that, I will give the floor to Erwin Goor to make a short introduction, and then we will start the discussion. So welcome again, and Erwin, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Thierry. So indeed, welcome as well from my side and as well from Izabela Freytag. So my colleague Izabela and myself, we are the 2 project advisors from Easme who, let's say, are following the 5 projects which Thierry mentioned, and there are 5, let's say, which resulted from a call of last year called the Development of Commercial Activities and Services through the use of GEOS and Copernicus. So we are expecting from these innovation actions 5 commercial applications showing the benefit of EO and making business out of it. There's as well another project, which is the FIRE project. It's a coordinate and support action, which is FIRE stands for Forum for Innovation and Research in European Earth Observation, and so it's there to develop a strategic roadmap for the Earth observation sector to shape, let's say, the research and innovation strategy for EO solutions in Europe. So there will also be in a listening mode, but our aim, let's say, for bringing, let's say, the 5 projects together with them 5, of course, but as well with eShape, is twofold. So these 5 projects that all started from between May and September, so they are quite recent. Of course, they do not have things running, do not have results, but eShape is, and eShape has already been there for 1.5 years, and they're really starting, let's say, to bring their first, how should I say, aims of support for the projects which might be relevant on the table. For example, they made some investigation about the different platforms available in Europe and how maybe these projects can use them, and also on the co-design for those who attended this morning. They already have some experience, and if useful, we can learn from that. So that's a bit the idea, to bring the projects together with eShape, to know what eShape could bring, and also not only, of course, the horizontal activities on the platforms, but as well, of course, with the eShape pilots, because eShape as such, they are also developing these 27 pilots, and some of these, they are really in the same thematics than each of the 5 projects which will be presented just in a second. So we really are keen to understand which of the eShape pilots, and also with which of the other 5 projects, let's say, you see some possible synergies, you see some ways to collaborate, all in the collaborative spirit of EuroGeos, of course. So let's say I give you the floor in a minute to start presenting what you are doing and also where you see some possibilities of collaboration. But the second objective which we have is normally we would have bring you together. Let's say in a full day meeting, which was planned in June on the EuroGeo workshop, but of course this didn't materialize, as you all know. What we would like to learn from you now is, after this meeting of 1.5 hours, what are the needs from you to further discuss with the 5 project, or with eShape, or with 5 and so on? So is there really a need to organize another online event more dedicated to specific topics, to bring, for example, projects who are willing to collaborate and so on together? So I should suggest that we discuss this at the end of the presentation. And unless Izabela, you want to add something, we could first listen to the 5 presentations of the 5 projects. Thank you. Izabela, do you want to add something?
Yes, sorry, I tried to start my video, but yeah. Okay, no, I wanted to, can you hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, you cannot see me, but okay, I wanted just also to welcome people, and even to add that the latest project started in October, so a few days ago, so even not in September, are really newly launched, and indeed we are here to also, we are shaping EuroGeo. eShape is the flagship project for this, and it's why I think it's great that you are all there also to listen what is this flagship. And for us, it's really important to try to defragmentize the EU world, and to bring you all together, and to see where collaboration could be possible among the different projects. And indeed, we are also there to listen to what you learn, a new idea to maybe go on in the next step. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Izabela. So I think we can go on the different presentation now. And the first presenter of this afternoon will be Nuno Grosso with NextLand. Nuno, you can share your screen and open your camera, and the floor is yours. And also unmute your micro, of course.
Hi everyone. Hi Thierry, thanks very much for the introduction, and Erwin too. So I'll share my screen. I'll share my screen with you. I hope you all can see the presentation. So I'm here to present. First of all, my name is Nuno Grosso. I work in Deimos Engenharia here in Portugal, and I'm here to present NextLand, the project, an H2020 project that was launched in the call that Erwin referred and started in June this year. So NextLand stands for Next Generation Land Management Services for Agriculture and Forestry. So going over the presentation, I'll give you a bit of the essentials of NextLand, the vision of NextLand, the services that are included within NextLand, the platform that's responsible for delivering those services, what is the legacy of NextLand, and talk a bit about the connection with projects like eShape, NextGeos, and then I'll conclude. Going to the essentials. So NextLand is focused on building this next generation Earth observation services for agriculture and forestry. It's based on an alliance of 4 different Earth observation service providers, 2 expert companies on EO service integration and operation, and 1 business management university. And he wants to offer 15 commercial EO-based agriculture and forestry services that is based in GEOS and Copernicus data. It's 100% co-created with alpha and beta users representing the target markets of NextLand. And it's provided by 1 single platform that provides 1 single service access point. So an overview of the consortium behind NextLand. We're doing the project coordination for Deimos. We have target users represented by Soil Essentials and BDB, two agronomy institutions or companies. S&T, SURF, and EFI represent the forestry sector and several stakeholders within that forestry sector. The service providers from agriculture and forestry are Deimos, DHI Grass, Vito, and Vantaxat. The service integration support is provided by Terradue and Deimos. The market assessment, marketing strategy, and sales by Nova, and the communication network and capacity building by Vito. So a bit of the different milestones within the project. So we started in June 2020. Our launch date is the second quarter of 2021. We have an overall budget of 3.4 million, a grant of 2.8 million. So that means that we do have a lot of investment within NextLand coming from the partners, and that shows the commitment that they have towards this project. The project lead is, like I said, Elecnor Deimos, and we have 11 project partners that I mentioned before. So what is our vision? What is the vision of NextLand? So we want to innovate in delivering EO-based services for agriculture and forestry through the collaboration of these different these different partners that form an ecosystem. So it's more than just about the service characteristics, although the focus is much more. It's also in developing and evolving those services, but it's also about the delivery of those services and how can we improve the delivery of those services. And we are aiming at having that coordinated and single access point for these different services in one single platform. So where do we focus our attention? We focus our attention on what we call the midstream service provider industry. So we're looking into the downstream service industry and providing services to them. So we are aiming at the bulk delivery of these services that I'm going to present in the next slides. So we're aiming at agriculture and forestry service providers so that they can extend their service portfolio and increase their value. Associations so that they can provide better information to their associates. Public authorities and large end user companies. So we're not aiming to go directly to the farmer or the forest manager. We're aiming to interface and to sell to this downstream industry players. So we are focusing on co-creation with alpha users, as I said, where we have in the first phase, development phase of NextLand, the collaboration of 5 consortium partners, Soil Essentials, BDB, S&T, SURF, EFI. They will provide the first set of requirements based on their operational needs. Those will be translated into the evolution of concrete services and into the evolution of the delivery system for those different services. It will be fed by a continuous test, validation, and feedback cycle between alpha users and service and platform developers. And after the second year, we'll have 10 additional beta users to add to the co-creation process and to have more requirements flowing in so that the NextLand services are more representative of the industry. So we are building these services based on user scenarios driven by those users, by those alpha users. We have 7 there that you see: support irrigation, crop planning optimization, early stress anomaly identification, deforestation and illegal logging, forest growth, fire impact, and forest health. And we aim to develop a common marketing strategy and business model, and that's being worked by the Nova School of Business Economics. They want to access the current landscape of commercial EO-based agriculture and forestry services, define this common strategy, and develop a sales effort to engage commercial clients. So what are the services that we are providing? Those are summarized there in this slide. So we have 15 different commercial services, 4 of which are focused in agriculture, 5 of which can be used either in agriculture and forestry, and an additional 5 that are aimed at the forestry sector, going from crop classification to crop productivity trend analysis, crop phenological cycle, typical characterization, anomaly detection, soil moisture, vegetation water contact, forest sensitivity and statistics. So they have multiple aims and they aim at multiple possible applications or user scenarios. So those are just 4 of those services that I wanted to highlight. One brought by Vito, which is a crop phenological cycle characterization based on Sentinel-2 and meteorological data. Another one is the soil moisture brought by Vandagsat, coming from SMAP with 100 meters resolution almost daily from 2015 onwards. Then you have the potential and actual evapotranspiration that's based on the fusion between different sensors, so Sentinel-3, Sentinel-2, and meteorological observations. And finally, you have the forest fire burn scar developed by Deimos based on Sentinel-2 data. So I can provide you in the end with additional information on the other 11 services. This is just to give you a flavor of what's being developed within NextLand. So then we have all those services being delivered by one single service access point. And this will be a user-friendly platform that will pave the way for a wide variety of organizations to benefit from EO and to provide their services via that platform, or call it a marketplace if you want. That's being developed by Deimos with Terra also. And we are aiming by having this setup to have a set of centralized operations, a high service availability, scalable services, and a good customer support to provide all this wide portfolio of services. And the first version of this platform is coming on spring 2021, following that milestone that I talked earlier on the second quarter of 2021. So what is the next legacy? What are we gaining from other projects? And I'll focus especially on E-Shape Nexios, although the legacy is coming from a wide variety of other projects. So if we're talking about, focusing on Nexios and E-Shape just because those are the ones that are within this ecosystem of E-Shape. So Nexios has been referenced as one of the possible solutions to integrate pilots, and from NextLand from Nexios is gaining the different technological components of Nexios. So we're reusing the same data and service cataloging, the cloud integration environment brought by Terra, the cloud bursting, user management, and user management, so authentication, authorization, and accounting, and then the operations, analytics, and dashboards. But not only the technological part, but also some of the work being done in the pilot applications that are in Nexios are then flowing into the services of NextLand. So the Vito agricultural pilots learned a lot on the development of an integration strategy in cloud infrastructures. The territorial planning pilot developed by Deimos is a precursor to the forest classification service. And that's more or less what we gain from Nexios. If we go to E-Shape, the main gain that we saw right now in the beginning of the project, and it was a huge one, was this co-design process definition and support from the WP2 team led by Armin Paristech, by Pascal and Raphael. And they really helped us shape the process on how to engage those alpha and beta users, how to process the different steps towards co-designing these services with them. And right now we just finished the webinars and the co-design workshops, and it was mostly, and a good share of it was the interaction between Vito, who is leading that co-design process, and the E-Shape team. Also, there's a gain from the services part, since the phenology, the crop phenology product was partially developed also in the scope, or is being partially developed also in the scope of E-Shape. So to conclude, we are starting now. We have a first overview of service portfolio completed. Webinars and co-design workshops are almost concluded. A first set of requirements is now being consolidated for the services and the platform, and the evolutions of the services and that platform is to be started in November. On the business part, there's a competitor analysis ongoing, and a survey is going to be delivered to project partners to understand a bit their positioning in terms of what the ecosystem that NextLand wants to create. And hopefully that survey is extended then to other external stakeholders. So if you want to know more, the NextLand website is coming soon, hopefully during this month, including the social media channels. If you want to stay in the loop for the novelties within NextLand, you can either subscribe to our newsletter that's now temporarily accessible here, or you can contact me directly. My email is here. And thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Nuno. I've noticed some interesting points in terms of collaboration apart. Sorry, I forget to start my video. Okay, sorry. So I noticed some interesting point, not only the co-design aspect, but I see that there is a lot of in your project about the marketing strategy. So do you, as you know, both sides of the coin, maybe there is a potential link to establish with our VP4, VP5 activity in order to share at least practices, or maybe a common agenda in some of the activities that we are conducting in both sides, and that are not really duplicated, but at least complementary. What do you think about also this type of collaboration?
Yeah, I totally agree. So the same way that WP2 provided us with a very clear process towards co-designing, the interaction with WP4 and WP5, as you mentioned, Thierry, it will be crucial to defining that process also. So, and we are talking mostly, so eShape is trying to pave the way to defining a generic process somehow towards all these different thematic showcases. And we are hoping to specify that for one concrete thematic area, and that's what we hope to gain for WP4. In WP5, we did already the connections with WP2 because it was more urgent. Now, when Nova SB has that input from the market assessment, we hope to engage with WP4 and WP5 to start those processes and define those processes together.
Okay, great. So I see another point of potential connection, and we will see on the follow-up. Thanks a lot for your presentation, Nuno.
Thank you very much.
And I think we can go to the next presentation. So I think it's ENVISION, the project that will be presented by Draxis. Just to find you. Yes.
This is Panagiota Syropoulou.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the floor is yours, Panagiota.
Thank you very much. Thank you first of all for the invitation, also you and Erwin, and this opportunity to participate in this networking session. Please let me know if you can see my presentation in full screen.
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you very much. So my name is Panagiota Syropoulou. I'm project manager and environmental expert at Draxis Environmental. Draxis is an environmental IT company in Greece, and we are coordinating the ENVISION project that aims to bring a new era on CAP monitoring in Europe. Our relevance previous experience is the Eurecat project, which aim was to develop and pilot test an integrated platform to enable the e-government services for improved implementation and monitoring of cross-compliance only. And this project was completed in 2018. So Eurecat gave us better insights of the market and make it clear that although that CAP aims to financially help farmers and also help the paying agencies with the control monitoring, it also comes with several challenges. Specifically, the new reform CAP comes with a large number of rules, which are time consuming to monitor. And also there are complex measures due to the level of detail of these applicable rules. These complex rules also are reflected in high costs, both for paying agencies and certification bodies and also for the farmers. And also with the new CAP, we have a shift from a control to a monitoring approach. On top of that, on top of these challenges, there are several policy recommendations for the implementation of the new CAP. The EU countries should follow a holistic approach and shift from compliance to performance focus. There is an introduction of digitization in agriculture. We need to have remote monitoring. We need digital skills also from the side of paying agencies, but also from the side of farmers. And we have to use more digital solutions. We have also to integrate EU and national systems, offer data as open data, and enhance public in services. We should also engage citizens in the whole process of co-creation and co-development of the new services. And finally, we are in front of a total reform of the public sector with the introduction of new technologies and services. So here we are now with ENVISION as a solution. With ENVISION, we want to harness the benefits of GEOS and Copernicus to deliver a toolbox of services for the continuous and systematic monitoring of sustainable agricultural practices. The aim of ENVISION is to deliver a platform with 3 different customized solutions. First of all, we want to provide a web interface for the remote monitoring of the parcels for paying agencies and certification bodies. We aim to develop a mobile application that will help farmers with the application of sustainable agricultural practices. And finally, we will deliver an add-on development tool for developers who want to build on top of the ENVISION services and deliver new services in the market. We will develop 6 Earth observation-based and machine learning-empowered products, specifically cultivated crop time maps, soil organic carbon, vegetation status monitoring, crop growth monitoring, grassland mowing, and soil erosion services. We wish to automate monitoring of a wide territory of parcels instead of individual fields. And we want to enable the continuous monitoring of the parcels throughout the whole year instead of checks on specific dates or time windows. Also, another objective of ENVISION is to lower down the monitoring costs for paying agencies and certification bodies. And we want to make public authorities procedures more transparent and efficient. Initially, we can see several synergies between ENVISION and DSAPE and also the other projects that are presented here in this session. We want to exploit the consolidated information of different DSS offers for the ENVISION cost-benefit analysis. And also ENVISION can provide feedback on the ESAPE framework. We are already in contact with some of the ESAPE partners to see the co-design process that you follow and how we can benefit from the lessons learned in our co-production process of services. And also we see a clear knowledge and technology transfer between the 2 projects in several aspects, in user requirements acquisition, in literature analysis, in the algorithms development. Also, NOAA leads the pilot on CAP support in ESAPE, and they will bring back to ENVISION the lessons learned from this process in ESAPE. And after the delivery of the first sprint of ESAPE, we see clearly that we can harness of some algorithms developed for cotton within the context of ENVISION. We plan also to use some of meteorological parameters provided from beyond and NOAA within the E-shape through the WRF model. Who we are now? We are a consortium of 13 partners all around Europe. Among them, we have 4 pilot partners, which are the National Paying Agency of Lithuania, the Flemish Paying Agency, the Paying Agency of Cyprus, and the Organic Control Agency of Serbia. Our project started very recently on the 1st of September, and it will last for 3 years. And we will work together with several Lighthouse customers who are paying agencies and certification bodies that are not official partners in our project, but they will participate in the project business cases voluntarily. And we are very happy that we have them on board from the very beginning of the project, and this network will continue to grow throughout the project. So we are open to any synergies and collaboration also under these aspects. I try to be very short. You can access the initial website of the project of our projects through this link, and we are open for discussion and questions. Thank you. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So just coming back on the loop. Thank you for your presentation. I saw in the different presentation mainly the different topics you are going to process and the different issue you are going to tackle. From my understanding, also there is a dimension in terms of commercial activity that you didn't describe. Can you give us some element about after the development of the pilot themselves or the service themselves, how you envisage the future?
Yeah. Yes, you are very, very right. Actually, our initiative is an innovation action, and our drive to this journey is the delivery of commercial services to the market. So our vision is to, of course, exploit the possibilities of commercializing the different, each service specifically. As a consortium or as individual partners, but also as a whole. And we are from the very beginning of the project, we are in the process of exploring the market, exploring our competition, and see how we are different from the competition, and how these services that will be developed will be unique and will deliver commercial value for us.
Okay, so you have this in your work program, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I think I know that Draxis is also part of E-Shape. So
yeah.
I think you already take a look to the different type of tool developed within the work package 4 and 5. Certainly the sustainability booster. And do you see any contribution that can be captured from these approaches within your own project?
Yeah, we can definitely see a synergy with the pilot 1.2, I think, which has to do with the CAP support. But of course, we can have a thorough look at the other pilots of ESAPE and the services that you deliver there, because Draxis is participating only in the health pilot, so I cannot see any link between this pilot and the ENVISION project, to tell you the truth.
I know, and I think you are not the one following also what's happening in eShape, because we didn't met for the moment.
Yeah.
But I saw so in your project there is a kind of parallel. You have a series of pilots that are developed, whatever the subject of the pilot are, and you have the aim of developing a commercial approach. And in eShape, we are tackling the user uptake and the sustainability of all the pilots also. So this means that we are developing some of these tools, and there will be a series of presentation tomorrow showing some of these elements. And even if you explore the eShape website, you will see some of these tools. And my question was not on the let's say development part itself, but more on the commercial aspect of the project, which is to have common tools or to share the different practice in terms of accessing the user community, discussing with them, and share also the output of our finding, even if the topics are a bit different. But at least it's look like that the way to reach the commercial sustainability of the different pilot are similar. So that was more in this direction I was thinking about. And even if your colleague working on the health showcase are not linked with the activity in agriculture, I think there is some parallel that can be established between the different type of output we are aiming in your project and also in eShape. So as we have we are few steps before, you can also take the opportunity to avoid to lose some time in exploring things that we have already explored.
Definitely, so, yes. We are expecting to learn from you, actually. So we are very happy that we are here and we are in close contact. So we will, of course, participate in the next sessions too. And
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation and for the discussion. So we can go maybe to the next presenter, which is VT Geos. And Maria, I think you are going to do the presentation.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
We see you, and so you can share your screen.
Okay, I'm supposed to
do a small presentation, yes.
Be sharing my screen. Ah,
yes.
Now. No. Sorry. I think it will happen now, right?
Yes, here we are. So that's perfect.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay.
You can even remove
okay, thank you, Thierry.
the small you have a very okay, you find it.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so thank you, Thierry. So thank you very much for inviting me today to the General Assembly of eShape. I will start telling explain a general overview of VTGeos. As you all know, it's a European project funded under the topic SC516 2019. The duration will be 42 months, we started just 1 month ago on the 1st of September 2020, and we will continue till the last day of February of the 2024. Our budget is 3 million euro, 2.6 of which is funded by the European Commission. It's a project coordinated by Eurecat. I'm the coordinator, Maria Navarro, yes. Eurecat is a research and technological organization located in Barcelona. Now, the consortium is composed by 9 partners from 4 different European countries. Specifically, we are 4 research institutions. The first one is the coordinator, Eurecat, and then we have the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, Links Foundation, which is another research institution located in Torino, in Italy, and the University of Napoli of Federico II, the Department of Agricultural Sciences. Then we have 2 technological companies, one of which is ELIF. It's a Dutch company, which is expert in the use of satellite data on agriculture. And then we have PricewaterhouseCoopers, who will be leading the activities related to business and exploitation. We have 3 wine producers, so end users in our projects, which are Torres in Spain, Symington in Portugal, and Mastro Berardino from Italy. Now, I will start a little bit talking about the sustainable agriculture. The main objective of sustainable agriculture is to meet the current and future demands of food while protecting the environment and also the human health. So one of the immediate consequences that the climate change has brought is on the vineyards is a change of their is a shift of their pattern. Shifts on seasonal temperatures have significant impact on vine vulnerability to biotic and abiotic stresses and vineyard performance in terms of fruit yield, and also the characteristics of the fruit, which impact very much on the final product, which is the wine. Now, another climate-driving impact is that now the vineyards are more affecting to, or there has been an increase in diseases that are affecting the vineyards, because many regions that were out of climate change of certain pests are now suffering from infestation and contagion, and this is especially important in the case of downy mildew and powdery mildew on vineyards. Now, agriculture itself plays an important role on climate change because it's responsible of 25% of CO2 emissions, being the second largest emitter of CO2. In Europe, we are the first producer of wine. We are producing around 60% of the wine in the world. So we can say that the wine production plays an important role because like in any other agricultural sector, we're emitting CO2. So if we optimize the operation in vineyards that involve usage of fossil fuels, we will be helping to reduce this emission, mitigating the effects of climate change, reducing negative environmental externalities, and promoting local economic growth. Now, the richness of remote sensing data is of great help to obtain up-to-date information on farmland and agricultural processes. When coupled with in-field measurements from specific tools available to farmers, these in-field measurements can improve precision of remote sensing data, enabling precise assessment for effective agricultural management steps. The use of open resources like Copernicus and Geodata services improve the efficiency of vineyards thanks to accurate mapping of the plots, novel production indicators, image and time series processing, and accurate forecasting. So VTGeos is an innovative tool for vineyards management based on the integration of Earth observation services and in-field sensors. VTGeos is using free of charge satellite imagery and Earth observation products from the European Copernicus program, and will couple them with in-field and near-in-field data to extract useful indicators for a better management of the vineyards and the optimization of agricultural practices, because this optimization can be, of course, extrapolated to other agricultural crops, not only vineyards. The VTGeos solution will develop 5 different, let's say, smart information services which will be weather and climate forecast, phenology estimation, crop status monitoring, disease management, and business and sustainability management. Now, the key outcomes of BTGs will be, first of all, the weather and climate forecasting. We will obtain high-resolution meteorological data that can support the farmer when there are unusual climatic conditions or even extreme events to decide on, for instance, when to irrigate or to be prepared for extreme events like floods or long periods of droughts. And also, it's very important that these high-resolution meteorological data are going to feed other information services of BTGs, especially the ones related with phenology and disease management. Regarding the phenological forecasting, we will use phenological prediction models, and this will be validated through automated monitoring achieved with satellite information. The latter will be improved with fixed cameras and drones over the fields for a better resolution of this data. The prediction and monitoring of phenological stages is very important because it allows the farmer to better plan and organize all the activities related to the activities on the field, but also on the business in general. Then we have this service information called crop status monitoring. With this service information, we will provide indicators like the vegetation health status, the crop productivity, the crop water use, and the crop nitrogen content. Then we have another, the fourth information service is the disease management. We will be providing prediction on the occurrence of two diseases in particular, which are the powdery and the downy mildew. We will try to provide early warning for the occurrence of these mildews, and also advice on the best recipe or treatments to apply, also for the optimization of resources. And then we have the last information service, which is business and sustainability management, where we will be able to give information, for instance, on the best timing for field operations, the calculation of the personal resources needed for the different operations in the field, also to get a better planning for the use of the raw materials, of all the resources, because if we optimize the activities on the field, we will be optimizing also the use of raw materials, hopefully reducing the use of chemicals and pesticides and so on. And then on sustainability, we will be able to provide indicators, for instance, on productivity, the fruit and water yield, on the economic viability, the product carbon footprint, and greenhouse gas inventory, etc. Now, as I commented before, we have 3 end users in our consortium, so we will demonstrate the platform on 3 different scenarios, let's say, yes, locations. We want, with this approach, we wanted to cover different climate conditions and soil properties, and also include as many as possible international renowned grape varieties in order to make the commercialization step after the project as successful as possible. Now, our impacts at the end, in BTGs, we will move from standalone observations to downstream information services. BTGs wants to support the farmers by providing early warning so they can make better decisions in their crop management. Our platform will enable farmers to operate with less use of raw materials by optimizing the activities. And then the results and lessons learned will be used also for the building capacity on sustainability among agricultural communities, especially the local rural communities that can be very benefited by BTGs because a better planning of the resources needed by the large producers. This means that they will know with enough time in advance how many grapes they need to buy from local growers. Yes, and we will also strengthen the skills, competencies, and abilities of local farmers to advance on the development of services and products based on the use of Earth observation systems. And bueno, this is the end of my presentation. If you want to contact for any question or doubts that you may have, here you have my email address. And I'm looking forward to also to be able to work in cooperation with eShape and with the other projects that were funded under the same topic than BTGs. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Maria. As we are in this session also to share ideas and some thoughts about our view on the potential collaboration, did you see from this morning presentation and for the first two sessions some potential link, and if yes, which one?
Yes, well, the first one, the NextLand and ENVISION, I think for what I could hear, they are also working on some crop productivity indicators, and so they are also using machine learning techniques and artificial intelligence because all of our services the weather and climate forecast, maybe not so much, but most of our services will be also based on these types of processes. And so I think there is a potential here to exchange good practices and for improving of all the services that we want to, and if maybe they would be interested also in some services of BTGs for their own purposes. I don't know if they were thinking of disease management, for instance. So I think we can learn from each other. And
okay, I don't know if you have the chance to attend the meeting this morning on the presentation.
I couldn't, sorry.
So we will have the occasion to present you more in detail what we have done what we are doing in eShape, allowing you also to know a bit more about what we are doing in terms of co-design, in implementation, and also in the sustainability tools we are developing for the different pilots. And maybe there is a potential to evaluate what kind of collaboration we may have. From what I understand in the call, at least there is a market-oriented approach. And so, can you give us some insight about your project on this type of aspect?
Yeah, well, as I commented, there are 3 end users. So the platform will be co-designed and co-created along together with them, and it will be demonstrated in their pilots. Also, in our advisory board, we are having also the presence of important stakeholders towards to make a good dissemination of the project. So, and we hope to be able to reach other types of audiences in agriculture. I mean, vineyards is a high value, high added value agriculture product, but it would be great if we could approach, and it's our intention also through webinars, doing the project to other agricultural communities, let's say.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria. I think we can go on the next presentation.
Thank you, Thierry.
So I think Claudio Rossi is going to do the presentation about SAFER.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sharing my screen.
And the floor is yours, Claudio.
Thank you. Thank you for your introduction and thank you for having me here. My name is Claudio Rossi and I'm the project coordinator of SAFERS, which stands for Structured Approaches for Forest Fire Emergencies in Resilient Societies. I am a project manager and senior researcher at Links Foundation from the data science area department. And the Links Foundation is a private, not-for-profit research center. It is located in Torino, and we are expert in ICT and especially in artificial intelligence and data science overall, applied to different kind of data, heterogeneous data, including Earth observation, and also on big data technologies. I would like to spend some forward on the motivation behind our project. So saying that these increasing susceptibility that we are seeing in these years, in the latest years, are attributed to two main and interacting factors. First of all, climate change driven changes in weather extremes, and then also widespread land use change, and the latter results in increasing anthropogenic ignitions. So these factors can create ideal conditions for rapidly spreading and intense fires that are very difficult to extinguish. And so these kind of big and very difficult to handle wildfires have become very common in many parts of the world, not only in Europe, and also in ecosystems that are not adapted to fire, that have not experienced in the past this kind of fires, which could have a very heavy impacts in terms of vegetation structure and composition, wildlife population, soil erosion, and also decrease the the benefits that humans derive from these natural landscapes. In Europe, until 2018, we saw a slight decrease in the total burn area and number of fire, although with high variability. This proved that our efforts to fight against wildfire, despite the climate change effects and the other factors I mentioned, were somehow successful. But at the same time, wildfire hit places like Sweden, for example, which had in 2018 the worst fire season in its history, and was also one of the biggest exercise in the European civil protection mechanism, because they were not prepared to face such a wide fires, and they called for help. Many modules were involved in this catastrophic event. But in 2019, and here I still don't have complete statistics, the burned area was more than 3 times the average over the past decade until August, and so this was a very terrible year in Europe, and also in the future in Europe the susceptibility is projected to increase due to global warming and so climate change, and both in the average scenario, the one that foresee a 2 degrees Celsius temperature increase on average, and also more severely in the high emission scenario. Not only Europe is affected by wildfires. We all see in the news California and the USA in general, where also the total burned acres have been on a steady rise, and so also there is an increasing problem. Recently, also we have heard in the news again the problem is in South America, especially in the Amazon forest, and there these wildfires are most probably triggered by human to give space for agriculture, and so it is very alarming, this situation, because as you may know, this is the biggest lung of our planet, is the largest carbon sink, and so this capacity of absorbing CO2 has been decreasing steadily over the past decades. Also in Australia, we have seen 2019, which was a catastrophic year, and the frequency of bushfire increased in between 2007 and 2013 about 40%. But the 2019 was a special year because it hit a record of 11 million hectares of land burned, and also in areas where were not usually burned or subject to wildfires. And also wanted to mention Siberia, because in the last 2 years also there alarming wildfires have been triggered by the climate change effect. So just to mention that this small town, I'm unable to pronounce, reached 38 degrees Celsius, which is 17 degrees above the normal high temperature. And so there also first responders are not prepared to fight against wildfires, and so on. And this creates a huge event with high impact on also in terms of air quality, producing a lot of smoke. If you see also an overview about the burned area detected by Moody's, although these data are not 100% accurate because it's only estimated, you can see that also another country which we don't hear in the news, but which has a severe situation, is Africa. So that's why we wanted to propose SAFERS, and we aim to realize a comprehensive emergency management system able to act along the key phases of the emergency management cycle, not only using EO data, but coupling these data and services offered by Copernicus and GEOS with the crowdsourced data from social media or from specific application like a chatbot that can be used by both citizens as well as in-field professional agents. And so we want to couple also in-situ data, meaning the data coming from sensor to detect smoke and fires. We will couple all those data using artificial intelligence and to generate a risk map and early warnings. And this in the preparedness phase. So just a brief overview about the services. We start in the preparedness phase with sub-seasonal weather forecast. We will use both deterministic and probabilistic early warnings at sub-seasonal scale because we want to extend the lead time of current forecast, and then use these forecasts to plug in to compute hazard and risk models. These will also use Earth observation data. And these for the preparedness phase can trigger more advanced early warnings. Then for the event detection, we would like to use both smoke and fire in situ cameras, and also give the mobile tool, a chatbot for both citizen and volunteer to signal the presence of a wildfire and provide multimedia data to describe the status and its evolution, also to allow a better coordination of first responder that can manage mission in case of big event. And then for the response phase, we will realize a decision support system in which we want to gather a knowledge base to suggest the actions, and these will act also in the prevention phase. And for the response phase, also a nowcast and forecast model that will be able to forecast the propagation of the wildfire given the condition of the fuel and the meteorological condition. And after the event, we will have a fire delineation and burned area model based on deep learning and satellite data, and also an habitat recovery monitoring, again, based on EO data. This consortium is composed by 14 partners from 7 different countries. We have 4 research bodies, 4 innovative SMEs, 3 first responder, 1 first responder knowledge center, and 1 public entity. It will have 4 demonstrations and pilots that will last for 1 year in Spain, France, Italy, and Greece. And it also includes already 7 advisors and 10 additional end users, which will be coupled with the 3 first responders for the end user requirement elicitation, and also for will be involved as a beta tester of our solutions. And the project also includes citizens that will be reached thanks to the chatbot with awareness information, and we will try to engage them in becoming volunteers so they could help also in the crisis management. This is a conceptual architecture of the SafeRest project, where we have a platform which we decided from the very beginning to publish in open source. This is to allow the business model to focus on the services that we call the intelligence services from EO and the infill data, which are the ones that I already mentioned. I didn't mention the social media, but this is a service called Crowd Intelligence, which will couple both the data coming from the chatbot and also monitor social media in order to detect events and trigger mapping activity, so to trigger other intelligence services, and also to monitor, try to extract impact data from the social media posts, and we will try, if possible, to integrate also some news services. And so all this architecture will be based on web-based API and a synchronous bus to allow the communication between the services and the platform, which will be then also could interact, also made interoperable with other platforms. In this sense, I see a lot of cooperation possible with the other projects, both within the call and also within its shape. This is the methodology of the project, so which are just started the 1st of October, and we will devote the first 7 months into the analysis of the existing data and the better definition of the capabilities that these EO services must have in order to become a competitive commercial product. And in this sense, we are doing now a competition assessment. But also in the first 7 months, we will do the end user requirement elicitation and create a knowledge base and best practices for both citizen and responder that will be then used by the decision support system. All these activities, including workshop, virtual workshop, now with this COVID situation, everything will be done virtually at different levels, so both locally and at the international level, and involving also the external stakeholder of the project, will lead to the definition of the end user requirement, the technical requirements, but also the requirements in terms of security, privacy, and ethics, which are very important also because we aim to gather data also from citizens. And all this will be the specification that will kickstart this development cycle of all the intelligence services and also of the platform, which will be then iteratively validated within the pilots and also in steps in field demonstrations, which will in which we will also collect the feedbacks that we will use to improve the platform and the services. So this is more or less the concept and the key aspects of the project. We don't have a website yet because the project just started, but we have LinkedIn and Twitter pages, and this is my contact if you want to reach out. Thank you for your attention, and I'm open to questions.
Thanks a lot, Claudio. So I noticed some point on what you present that are, in my opinion, some cross interests. I don't know if you had the vision of what is inside E-Shape during the presentation of this morning, but it seems that there are a series of common points. Even I think you have your own view on how to reach them, and I would like to have your point of view on what you see as a potential collaboration on between E-Shape and Safers. And
yes,
and
I think the first thing could be to check your co-design strategy. We have done co-design in another project that we coordinated, which was named iReact, and there is also a public deliverable on this on the iReact website on the methodology that we use. I will be curious to check also what you are proposing in E-Shape, and then of course the different pilots, especially in the cluster 6 on disasters. They have both common partners with Safers and also a common target with respect to the end users, and also some synergies could be there for the impact assessment, especially with the pilot 6.2, also because CIMA is also part of this, and CIMA is also within Safers. And so I think these are the initial points that I see now, but I'm also open to other suggestions.
Okay, I saw additional potential connection. You talk about ethics. I stress in the presentation this morning that that's a new concern for the H2020 project, and we have 2 sessions tomorrow about ethics, and that can be of interest for you to participate to the discussion, or at least to follow up these different topics. And I think also maybe there is a discussion that can be of interest in case you're going to commercial service at the end of the day. I don't know what is your strategy for the moment, but I think it will be of interest also to share your view or your practices with our team about sustainability and so on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I will forward the invitation for sure. I already did forward the invitation of this workshop, the E-Shape workshop, to all the partners, but I will warmly suggest to our security and ethics manager to follow tomorrow's session for the ethics and invitation also. An innovation manager within the project, so I think that this could be interesting to follow and to understand what are you proposing. Our idea here is to leverage from one side the open source strategy from the platform, and then keeping the services as commercial and standalone services that could feed not only the Safers platform but any other platform, basically. So we will try to use our standards as much as possible for data sharing and interoperable APIs. Everything will be like this, done in a service-oriented architecture, so it could be easily integrated into other also initiatives after the project will end.
Okay, thanks for the exchange. I think we can go to the last presentation because time is running. We have 15 minutes left, and if we want to have a small Q&A session, Carlos, can you share your screen and take the floor for the Untech? I don't know how to pronounce it really. So we are waiting for you. The floor is yours.
I'm going to share my screen. A moment.
Yeah, there is a bit of echo in your voice, Carlos. I don't know if you.
Sorry, I cannot hear anything from Carlos. Nothing, zero.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, he's on mute for the moment. Carlos, you may start your micro and your camera. Ilya, can you take? Can you help him to connect, please? Or in case I don't know which of you can support him on this. Okay, I think we have an issue there.
It's okay? Hello?
Yes, you're back.
Okay.
You're back.
Something happened. I don't know what. Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay, let me try to share. Okay. Okay. So, do you hear me perfectly?
Yes.
Okay. So, my name is Carlos Groba. I'm the coordinator of the Sustuntech project. Marine Instruments leads this project. That is a consortium of 8 different companies in 4 different countries. This project started this year in May, and it's a 3 years project. Sustuntech is a project focused on fishing activities, specifically for tuna fishing vessels, and wants to prove the concept of converting the tuna fishing vessels as sensor platforms to use the information they generate to improve the fishing activity and the fishing sustainability. So, with information from the sensors of the vessels and applying artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data, we convert the sensors information in rich value-added information that goes back to the fishing vessels. And also, we take some information from these vessels to send to Copernicus and GEOS to improve their models. Well, objectives of Sustuntech: improve the sustainability of the tuna fishing industry, a collection of new oceanic information, also for consumption on board, forecast of the tuna species distribution. We have expected reduction of the greenhouse emissions by 20%, thanks to the improving modeling and planning. That's the optimal route for fishing. And improvement of the data quality for the Copernicus services. Well, how does it work? Well, different sensors are going to be installed on board, and other kind of sensors are already installed on a tuna fishing vessels, but we're going to use this information. Which are the sensors? Anemometer, the IMU, the engine, X-band radar, and the current meter. So all this information is gathered into the Rattatos systems. That is a platform that is able to take all the high rate signals from different sensors to take it, to store, to compress, and to send to our servers. In other hand, tuna fishing vessels usually work with buoys, drifting buoys for fishing. So this information of the buoys that the vessels work with is going to be also shared with us, the location of each buoy and the sounding, because they have each buoy has an echo sounder, and we can know if there is fish beneath or not. Is going to be shared, and also the tuna fishing company that participates in this project is going to share the catches of each vessel. So we handle this information. All the information from the vessel, sensors, and buoys is sent over satellite satellite, and this information comes through marine instrument servers just to be processed. So we take oceanographic data information that we get from Copernicus. We take all the sensors information from the vessels, and we have also the buoys and the catches of the vessels, and we process it. And we process, and we have different models. We have a model that, thanks to the catches and the information we take, we have the fishing tuna distribution models. We have an engine performance on how well the fishing vessel is doing, about the speed and the maybe some maintenance they have to do. And at the end, taking all this information, the buoys, the prediction of where the tuna is going to be, the conditions, we make an optimal route for the tuna fishing vessels. So all this information that we take thanks to the algorithms, machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data, goes to the vessel, and at the same time, all the information that is relevant is sent to Copernicus for them to improve their models. The information that goes to the fishing vessels is sent to the Smart Marine View, which is a software that is also a product of this project that shows oceanographic information. We plot the buoys information, but they will have also the fishing tuna distribution, the engine performance, and the optimal route. They can see all these things together, and with this information, they can take the best decisions for better fishing and less effort, less nautical miles they have to travel, and less also emissions. At the end, this project is good for the fishermen, because they're going to fish the same in less time. It's good for the environment, because we are going to reduce emissions, and it's also good for Copernicus, for GEOS, because we can give information to improve the models, and these models are also sent to the fishing vessels to take the decision. So it's like a loop. Okay. Well, we are Sustuntech. We are 8 participants. It's a consortium that mixes industrial partners with scientific partners, starting with Marine Instruments from Spain, with the project coordinator. We manufacture buoys for the tuna fishing industry, but solutions for the maritime industry. Maridis from Germany, experts in engine sensors. The University of Basque Country in Spain, expert in engine performance. SINDEF, a Norway research organization. Zephyr, Italian company with expertise in commercialization of spare parts from the maritime industry. Asti from the Basque Country in Spain as a technology center for the marine and food. Newcastle University in the UK, experts in engine efficiency. And Echebastar in Spain, which is puts two vessels, two fishing vessels, where we're going to install all the sensors, and they're going to share the catches, and we're going to install a smart marine view, just to the fishermen can receive this real-time information from our algorithms. The expected results of this project are three main. That is the Ratatosk. This is, as I told, this simplifies the data communication with different sensors. And fishing vessels are the potential users, but also researching vessels and any other industry which manage different sensors. Mar Prime Ultra, this is helps to connect to the engine and to detect the deviation in fuel consumption. All vessels of the different industries can be potential users. And finally, Smart Marine View, which is the software that can present oceanographic information, and you can see how the result of all these algorithms about fuel consumption, the fishing tuna distribution, well, potentially it may have impact in the tuna fishing industry, but the idea is to export to other fishing fleets. Well, where we are now? Well, we have advanced in the land installation with the marine software and the marine instruments parser of the information, the Ratatosk connectors. Well, we are doing well in these parts. Also, the Ratatosk is being tested on land installation without problem. And we have the X-band radar in the way for testing. I think that's all. I have a video that I want to try to share with you. I'm going to try to open it, if I can, because it's the summarize of what I told, but the video is better than me. Let's try to see. Yeah.
Dr. Groba? I'm sorry to interrupt. Would you like us to play the video with sound?
There's no sound?
No. Would you like us to play it for you?
It's just a music. No, okay. Nobody is talking, so it's finished now. Okay, so
thanks a lot.
That's all. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for the presentation. I have the same set of questions than previously. So, but I see it's one type of service that you are going to develop merging not only in situ measurement but also the rest of the of your expertise in supporting the different tuna industry. So do you see some links between what we are doing in eShape and this and your own work?
Yeah, of course. As all other coordinators said, I think there are many links that we can explore. Something that we are interested in is that I think Maria commented is weather prediction. Maybe is something very good when we're talking about optimal route and planning the fishing activity. So it's something that if we can get, the better we can get, the better our algorithms can make a result. So I think mainly this is something that and other oceanographic models that maybe could be interesting is something key for our project.
Okay, thank you. I think we are a bit running out of time, so we have, let's say, 4 minutes to conclude. Erwin, if you wish to conclude on this, or Izabela, if you want to take the floor.
Well,
thank you,
yeah.
Carlos.
Okay. Well, thanks to all of you for these comprehensive presentations. Of course, now we know all where we are, what we are all doing. So it's a great starting point for having a lot of discussion. But it's clear that we can't do this today due to the sake of time. I see a lot of potential areas on which we could further discuss, all in the spirit of EuroGeo. You know, EuroGeo, as Jean discussed this morning, and if you could not attend this first session, I would really welcome you to watch the recordings where Jean Dussart from DGRD explained the EuroGeo spirit of coordination, cooperation, and combination. So I think there were many presentations where there was an invitation to collaborate, like for example NextLand specifying the being open to service providers and also mentioning better use, but it was really not clear how these use would be selected, and also for example ENVISION they had an add-on development tool, clearly an interface to externals, and I could go on. It was in all presentations. So therefore we would really see how we can materialize that. But as well, there was an aspect on the commercial point. So I think there was Nova, there was PwC, and every project had its commercial partner. Would really be very beneficial to have a discussion also together with eShape and maybe led by eShape on the work package 5. Really, I think it would really have an enormous potential towards the community, as this is clearly where there is clearly some lack of, I mean, not all projects are at the same level. Maybe we could also use that because the European Commission has, or help, the European Commission has this dissemination exploitation boosted service. Maybe we could think about how we could bring this all together and to try to bring this commercial knowledge also better know within EuroGeo. So for the sake of time, since we don't have much time to discuss, Izabela and I will certainly go back to the projects with a kind of a small survey to ask them again on which points they would like to maybe get more information from eShape where we could further discuss, and then we could maybe, but this all needs to be seen, set up a follow-up event, knowing that the presentation are now being done, so we all know what we are all delivering, but then focusing only on the discussions on which we could then elaborate. This makes sense, Thierry?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Also, we have a potential tool for small discussion in this conference, which is available for anyone, which is the meeting hub that allow you to have a one-to-one discussion with a potential view, and also we have an open chat room that are available, so that can be a one-to-one discussion for the moment, but at least it's a first potentiality. You can invite people and they can invite you in the same direction. Please try to explore this. And as we are very short on time, if Izabela wants to say something, if not, we will have the breakout session feedback soon. Izabela?
I wanted just to add that I think indeed we will send a short survey to see how we can go further, but also we will I think for us it's also interesting to get some feedback from you, and especially I was thinking about the FIRE project, who is also making this roadmap on research and innovation needs for the future. As you are all working in different fields, I think this can also be it's also an important point for us. But happy to go on with this discussion later on. And thank you all for your presentation.
See you in the following session. It's going to stop rapidly, so I hope you will join the discussion and follow the links. Thanks a lot, and see you in a few seconds in the breakout session report on the plenary session 3. Thank you.